Hey guys, Caller here, bringing you Game 2 of Group C of the OSL Round of 16, and we have here a Zerg versus Zerg matchup between Yellow Arnc and Rumble. YArnc on the left and Rumble on the right. Yellow Arnc is a player who's been very solid, is a very solid Zerg player on OG and Sparkies. He has a twin brother called Luxury. Well, that's not his name, but you know, his alias, who's also a Zerg player in OGN, and both of them are pretty similar in that they're very strong players, but not great players. They haven't really won any Star Leagues, and they haven't gotten far because I think they lack a certain amount of creativity. But maybe in this Star League they'll prove us wrong. In this position we have in brown at the 5 o'clock, that was YArnc, and Rumble in yellow here at the 7 o'clock position. And Rumble is a player I don't know much about. He's on SK Telecom 1. He has amassed a very good Zerg versus Zerg record of 8-4, so I would give him statistically a little bit of an edge here. YArnc's record against Zerg is only 44% versus, of course, 67% for Rumble. YArnc, unfortunately for him, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to show that much brilliance in this game either. If there can be a cookie cutter Zerg player, I would say he and Luxury are sort of cookie cutter Zerg players. They really just don't show that much deviation from tried and true builds. He's nothing like the original Yellow, by the way, who I adore. I love Yellow, even though he never wins things. It looks like a good picture of him this time from a Rumble fan, not like the flatulent Overlord picture that, you know, how was I supposed to know it wasn't a flatulent cloud and it wasn't actually an Overlord? I mean, the picture was terrible. But yeah, anyway, looks like both players going for 12 drones before going for their spawning pool. So we could be seeing a 12 hatch or a 12 pool. This map is Andromeda, by the way, which is usually a very macro-heavy map. Of course, in Zerg vs. Zerg, you hardly ever get macro-heavy games. And looks like actually Rumble is going to be setting up a fast expand, looks like. And here's the first divergence. YArnc has gone for a 12 pool, and Rumble has gone for the 12 hatch. So if Yellow doesn't get any, YArnc doesn't get any fast damage on Rumble, YArnc will be a bit behind. Significantly behind, really, if the second gas goes up. Although I do think, though, generally a 12 hatch is a good counter for a 12 pool, so I would say that Rumble has the early lead here so far. Both players, of course, not being able to scout each other. Of course, a 12 hatchery is very dangerous against a 9 pool, so perhaps Rumble was feeling confident that a 9 pool wouldn't be coming from YArnc. And it looks like YArnc actually going for a expansion also. Usually when we see a 12 pool, we see a faster tech or perhaps a hatchery inside the base. But looks like YArnc was just thinking of getting the spawning pool first against a possible 9 pool, and then picking up the natural expansion anyway. And looks like he's going to be getting some Zerglings here. He's already pumping gas. He is going to be still a little bit economically behind. Wow, and this guy can't stand the brilliance of the players. And there's the farting Overlord! Oh my god! That is the farting Overlord picture, farting on the Reaver or the Larva, and we see it again. That's amazing. That was in the 2v2 game between Air Force Ace and whatever team they were fighting against. We made that was in the 2v2 game, and I called it a farting Overlord, and we see it once again. Amazing. I mean, that cloud has feet, so that's why I thought it was a person, or I don't know, an anthropomorphic cloud with feet walking around and farting over a Reaver, but looks like it was an Overlord flying over a Larva. Alright, anyway, so back to the game. Rumble getting a creep colony at his natural, not getting Zerglings, and both players looks like they've morphed to lair, although I think, judging by the amount of gas that YArnc has collected, he's probably got the lair much faster. Should have been paying attention to that, but that it was the fault of that poor artist from distracting me from watching the game. Looks like 10 lings out for YArnc, and versus a sunken colony and 4 lings for Rumble. I'm not sure if Rumble's strategy is superior, though, at this point. Looks like he's managed to hold... he's probably going to be able to hold this natural expansion quite well. Depends on his micro, though. Looks like once YArnc gets a speed upgrade, which it looks like he has already, he's going to be able to charge in and perhaps get a snipe off on that sunken colony. Meanwhile, it looks like a lair already complete for both players, actually, so I was wrong about the timing. Looks like the Spire for Rumble actually went up a little bit ahead of this Spire for YArnc. So Rumble not being behind in tech at all here. So like I said, YArnc probably is behind a couple of drones here, and if he really needs to get some sort of attack in, or else he is going to be behind. He just now is starting to mine from his natural, and Rumble has been doing that for quite a bit now. Meanwhile, though, YArnc is continuing to bring more Zerglings to the front here. He might be going for a sunken bust pretty soon. But unfortunately for him, Rumble has a very accurate count of how many Zerglings he has, and he's probably going to be able to counter it perfectly by making just enough Zerglings to be able to defend here. And really, it comes down to positioning of that Sunken. That Sunken is a little bit out in the open. It's not perfectly protected, but it does have some natural protection because of the hatchery around it and the little wall around it. So I think that it is going to be protectable fairly easily by Rumble. And YArnc might be in big trouble once Rumble gets his Mulisks out, because he will be able to produce more Mulisks. He does have more minerals, and YArnc won't be able to produce that much with his gas. Perhaps he'll have to go to Scourge. And it looks like now attack coming out here for Rumble, and actually Rumble has more Zerglings than YArnc does, I think. But YArnc's in a better positioning overall. But looks like the Zerglings are killing one another, and it looks like they're going to both trade armies here. This is in favor of Rumble, though, because Rumble has more minerals, and he will be able to counterattack. Meanwhile, YArnc is forced back here, and he looks like he's going to have to build some Mulisks quickly to be able to deal with these Zerglings streaming towards his base here. It looks like Rumble with just 1 or 2 more Zerglings, but that's enough to make a big difference in Zerg versus Zerg. YArnc trying to take advantage of the ramp here to slow Rumble down. Meanwhile, Rumble still continuing up the ramp here, and hopefully YArnc can get some Mulisks out, or else this is going to be a quick loss for him. If it looks like Scourge were produced, so really bad by him there. It looks like, yeah, now Rumble able to go to town here on the drones, and YArnc has no drones to spare. He was already behind in terms of drones, and now he's lost at least 2 drones to this group of Zerglings. Meanwhile, Rumble already has his Mulisks and Scourge out too, and now looks like Yellow finally able to pick off YArnc. I'm going to call him YArnc because Rumble is Yellow. Wow, but Rumble able to pick off 1 more drone. This is GG. I'm going to call it really early, but YArnc just doesn't have a chance in hell to come back in now. He's lost 3 drones after already being behind, and I mean, it's going to take some amazing micro. And looks like it's still 1 more Zergling alive, and killing off a 4th drone there. Wow, YArnc is just falling apart here. Not paying attention to his main base, and really, wow, just very poor play by YArnc, surprisingly. I would have expected better from sort of decent conventional Zerg player, but looks like Rumble has definitely taken the edge here. He is going to win this game almost certainly, because he's just going to be able to produce more Mulisks. He has a second gas. I don't think there's anything mining at YArnc's natural. It looks like with decent micro, he's going to pick off all the Scourge here. YArnc managing to do the same here, but really, with this, between these 2 Mulisk fights, yeah, it looks like Rumble is just going to bring more Scourge and bring more Mulisks to the fight. And once YArnc loses this group, which is going to lose very quickly, Rumble picking off these Scourge, and yeah, he's going to win this battle quite comfortably. And now the game. So just wow, YArnc just not playing very well, unfortunately, not living up to the name Yellow. By the way, if you want to check out an amazing Zerg versus Protoss series, check out Yellow's series. I forgot which no-name Protoss he fought against, but no, actually he fought against Adamas, who's Casey, I guess. Oh no, he didn't fight against Casey. I don't know who he was fighting against. Maybe it was Casey, but anyway, just check him out. In the last game he played, it wasn't Casey, it was Free he was fighting against. Yes, he was fighting against a Protoss player, Free. On the GOM TV series, the GSI, check that out, seriously. Yellow does 2 proxy hatcheries in 2 games, 2 out of 3 games, he does proxy hatcheries. I mean, it's just amazing. He does a proxy hatchery sunken rush. This kind of stuff you just gotta watch. I mean, if it's on TV, if it's on the internet, you must watch it. And YArnc looking like basically not very much expression. He has lost a game though. Rumble taking that game fairly easily from the start to end. No epic Zerg versus Zerg play there. Just YArnc outplayed by that first Zergling rush. Not able to do any damage with his early Zerglings, and then just getting countered hard, and just losing too many drones in that early attack. And wow, if he raised that fist a little bit higher, he would be in serious trouble if there were some still photographs of that.